welcome back. It's time to learn how to delete items from our database. I think you're going to find that compared to the other ones that this is going to be very short and painless. So delete, we're just going to write a remove score sort of on both sides, right? So within our data adapter and then within the list activity itself, right? Not much here going on at all. So back in my data adapter, I'm going to write my method here. So I could do a void. I could do a boolean. I'm going to choose to do a boolean here just because I can pretty easily. And I'm going to call this guy remove score, and I'm going to remove it, say by ID, right? I could remove it. I could pass in an actual score object and do it pretty much as easily. It's just I happen to know that my activity is going to call remove score like this. All right. So what do we have? The database method here is going to be called delete. Very easy to use, right? So we get a table, a where clause, right? So our selection and then any arguments we want to pass in. So the where clause, I'll leave it like that, and my arguments I'm going to let be null. Let's build up the where clause. So where clause is going to be simply, I want to delete those things that have an ID that was passed in, right? So this should look really familiar by now, right? So something like this, and that's almost there. Now it turns out that delete, you see, returns an int, which is just simply the number of rows that were deleted, right? And it passes in 0 otherwise, right? And it says there's even a way here to remove all the rows, right? Don't want to do that right now. But okay, so if it returns the number of rows deleted, and I want to return a Boolean to see whether my deletion was successful, then all I need to do is to take this guy and turn it into a Boolean condition here and just return it, right? So return whether it deleted more than 0 things. That would mean a successful deletion, right? So just like that. Going back to my list activity, right? In here, I have a remove score itself, and as you can imagine, this should look pretty familiar by now. So my score data adapter remove score. And again, I'm being passed an ID, so I'm just going to pass it along. And then I'm going to have to take my cursor, so to get it to display immediately, I'll ask my adapter to change the cursor to be the new one that's going to be the score data adapters get scores cursor. Okay. And I can remove the other stuff here. And for what it's worth, I guess I could have done that on my work before. All right, looks good. Let's get the slides caught up, make sure we're okay. So we did a remove score, taking an ID. Deletion took the table. We asked which ones do you want to delete. We could have done it all in one line right here if we wanted to put in the where clause. That would have been fine. No other arguments. And if that's bigger than 0, return true, otherwise return false. And you see that once we have this guy, we could easily overload it if we wanted a version that removed a score just by passing in the object. Then we just would have called our first method here just with its ID. All right, so it would have been pretty nice. So very cool. And of course, in our activity, we just did all this. We just chose to combine these 2 lines into one, but no problem, right? Call our remove score, and then have our cursor adapter change to the new cursor. All right. And that's pretty much it, right? So let's, by all means, let's test this thing, right? So let's go ahead and long press the row and delete it, right? So run your code. Okay, my emulator came up here, so let's delete Kyle. All right, so let's see, long press, delete score, boom, updated. Ooh, nice. Okay, so let's try. Go ahead and add me with a score of 60. Add. Oh, I want to delete me. I don't really like that score of 60. Not good. Let's go ahead and delete it. I never took it. All right, very good. So we have a working app. So it looks very, very good here. Happy with how it came out. It's actually persisting this thing, right? So even if we rotate it around, it is storing this data, right? So the nice thing is that the data can be much more complicated and than what we did originally with shared preferences. Shared preferences, remember, essentially were used for like single ints or strings or so on. But what we have here are whole lists of model objects, right? So so a lot more information than what you'd want to use shared preferences for. All right. Hope you enjoyed this lesson. Come back to hear about the lab. See you next time.